All right, we are going to be looking at solving equations with variables on both sides. This is about as difficult as it's going to get, so just persevere, and it's kind of cool at this point what you're able to do. Still think about the 4 steps where you distribute if you need to, combine like terms. Those will be especially important when we're working with variables on both sides. And then take care of addition or subtraction, take care of multiplication and division so that you can get your variable by itself. Let's look at the first problem that we have. So number 1, it is negative 15 plus 4n equals 1 plus 8n. Okay, should be right on your paper. Same process, so we want to say, do we need to distribute? And when you look at this, it doesn't look like we need to distribute. The next thing is you want to combine like terms. Now, that includes putting your variables together. So you need to get your n's together somehow. There's 4n, 4 n's on the left and 8 n's on the right. I always try to do it so that I don't have negative numbers. So if I want to get my n's together, I'm going to bring it to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 4n. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. I'm left with negative 15 on the left. And I have 1 plus 8 minus 4. Those are like terms. It's going to be 4n. And now it's a much easier problem to solve. Okay, so we just have to get n by itself. So I'm going to get rid of the plus 1. I'm going to minus 1 from both sides. Negative 15 minus 1 is negative 16. 1 minus 1 is just going to be 0. So we have negative 16 equals 4n. Next, we want to get rid of the 4. The opposite of inverse of multiplying is dividing. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. Again, it's good to just check your work. I'm going to say negative 15 plus 4. N was 4, so let's see if this works out. 1 plus 8 times negative 4. Okay, so 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. And remember, when you're subtracting, you're really adding the opposite. So you can think of it that way as negative 15 plus negative 16 or negative 15 minus 16. Either way, you're going to get negative 31. And on the other side, you also get negative 31. So it looks like our work is correct. All right, let's go through number 2 together. Maybe you want to pause it and try it on your own first and then check your work with mine if you get stuck. So let's see, number 2, we have 14 minus 8x equals negative 4x plus 3x. Okay, so when you're working through this, you always want to look at each side individually and then say, what else can I put together overall? On the left-hand side, there's nothing that I can put together, no like terms. On the right-hand side, I actually have x's. Those are both like terms, so negative 4 plus 3x, negative 4x plus 3x is negative 1x. Okay, I'm going to combine like terms, so I could either add 1x to both sides or add 8x to both sides. I don't like dealing with negatives. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides. That leaves me with 14 on the left. Negative 1 plus 8 is going to be 7x. I want to get rid of the 7, so I'm going to divide both sides by 7. Therefore, x is going to equal 2. Let's do a quick check. Make sure that work is correct. So 14 minus 8 times 2, does that really equal negative 4 times 2 plus 3 times 2? All right, so we have 8 times 2, it's going to be minus 16. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 3 times 2 is 6. 14 minus 16 is negative 2. Negative 8 plus 6 is also negative 2. So it looks like my answer is correct. I think I'm going to also do number 5 with you. That one is probably just about as challenging as you're going to get with these sorts of problems. So let's go down to number 5. If you would like to pause it here, you can, or you can jump down to it right now with me. If you want to try it on your own first, that might be a good idea. If you feel really stuck, let's just work through it together. So you have 5n minus 8 times negative n minus 3 equals negative 18 minus n. Okay, so first thing we want to do is distribute. And you can see that we are going to have to do that on the left-hand side. So I'm going to do that first. Negative 8 times negative n is going to be positive 8n. Negative 8 times negative 3 is going to be positive 24. And then remember, we want to combine like terms. Now on the left-hand side, we can combine some like terms. 5n plus 8n is 13n. We can't combine any like terms on the right, so I'm going to leave it as is. And I want to get my variables together just overall in the equation, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1n to both sides. So now I have 14n plus 24 equals negative 18. I want to get my variable, variable by itself, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 24 from both sides. I'm left with 14n, and we have negative 18 minus 24. It's going to be negative 42. I want to get rid of the 14, so I'm going to do the inverse operation and divide both sides by 14. So negative 42 divided by 14 gives me negative 3. I'm going to check my work, make sure that it is correct. So I have 5 times negative 3 minus 8. Now negative n, that's just going to make it a positive 3. So let's see, 3 minus 3. And I want to see, does that equal negative 18? And again, minus negative 3. You're going to see that just becomes plus. Okay, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And we have minus 8 in parentheses is 0. Negative 18 plus 3 is negative 15. 8 times 0, or negative 8 times 0 is just 0. So negative 15 does equal negative 15. So it looks like my answer is correct. Again, just be careful with your signs. Work through it slowly. Keep your work really neat. If you have any questions, let me know.